fights. Randy Hales against Scott Bowden from the Mid South Coliseum.
And street fights. What you call this? Probably a little of both in there. As Randy Hales goes up to Scott Bowden, slams it into the step. Tommy Rich from behind. Oh, man. Come on, Tommy. Yeah, let's ring the bell. That is absolutely ridiculous that Tommy Rich comes in here, jumps on Paul Randy Hales in there. Randy doesn't want to wrestle, reaching out of the other wrestlers. He was just in there to fight back. Come on. That is ridiculous, I tell you. Bud with a leather strap, shoving away at Randy Hales. Tommy Rich has got that strap now. Hey, come on. He's chopping away on poor Randy. Here comes the king, Jerry Lawler. He's got catches Bowden with a right hand. And there goes Rich and Bowden. And let me tell you, I have absolutely no respect at all for these two sons of a gun.
I'll tell you one thing for a fact. The king got one shot in on him. He got tuned up beating guys like Jimmy Hart, and he is just waiting to get a hold of that Scott Bowden when they come up there in that tag match that Jerry's going to be there.
And he may have his chance. I wonder what Scott Bowden thinks about the situation now, knowing he has to look across the ring and see not only Randy Hales, but Jerry the King Lawler.
Yeah, makes a whole lot of difference. You got that for a living fact. He had some comments about it, I think, Dave. Let's take a listen and see what Bowden had to say.
Boy, what a great day today is. Because you see, usually every Saturday morning, I have to wake up at my nice house in Germantown, which all you rednecks hate, don't you? You hate it, don't you? And I get in my candy apple red Mitsubishi Eclipse sports car, and I have to come down there to Midtown Memphis. That's right, Scum Central, and entertain all you stinking rednecks. Well, I'm not there this week. That's right. I promised Uncle Bobby I'd come down for the biggest game of the season. Florida State's playing Miami today, and he wanted another Bowden on the sidelines with him, an ace in the hole, so to speak. But I kind of wish I was there today, because I'm going to miss slapping around Randy Hales, the Forrest Gump of professional wrestling. You know, last Monday, you know, a wrestling match with me is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, because you got a fist, you got a kick, and you got a little whipping, didn't you, redneck? Didn't you? I guess your illegitimate daddy, Eddie Marlin, never whipped you like that, did he? Well, I promise you this, Randy Hales. You came out there last week going, I love wrestling. I love wrestling. Well, let me tell you something, boy. You're going to be singing a different tune after this Monday. I promise you that. You're going to be hating wrestling because, buddy, my fist is going to become very friendly with your face Monday night. I can promise you that. You think last week was something. Boy, you hadn't been in a fight till you've been in a fight with a boy from Germantown. I'm going to show you what rich kids in Germantown do to rednecks from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and even your stinking illegitimate daddy, Eddie Marlin, ain't going to save you. I promise you that. More punishment Monday night.
Scott's not here. I don't know if he's at Miami for the Florida State game or not, but he is not here. I think that says a lot. He can insult Randy, who's coming right here all he wants, call him Forrest Gump. My recollection of that movie was that Forrest Gump won at everything he tried, and that may be the case this week. Randy, we saw what happened. I know you got help this time around.
As you know, Dave, I've been around a long time, and I've never been in a situation where I can come out here and feel that I can really say what I feel about somebody. I think everybody out here saw last week. I hate Scott Bowden's stinking guts. It's what I think about Scott Bowden. He's nothing but a rich kid from Germantown that's had everything he's ever had handed to him on a silver platter. Dave, you've worked for everything you've ever gotten. So has all these people, and so has Jerry Lawler. I have too, and you don't know what work is, Scott Bowden. But I tell you one thing, you talk about the hick, you talk about the redneck. Everybody saw what happens when a hick gets a hold of a rich boy from Germantown last week in Memphis. Now, one thing, last Monday I thought everything was going good. I had Scott Bowden and Tommy Rich came in. I still have the welts on my back, Dave. But this week, it's a different situation. This week, I've asked Jerry Lawler to be my partner, and this week it's a situation where I can give Scott Bowden a beating with that belt that his daddy or mother never gave him.
Oh, let me just say, I know and have known Randy Hales for about 17 years. I first met Randy Hales when I was wrestling in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Randy was 14 years old, and he started at that time helping set up the ring in Jonesboro. He went from helping set up the ring to just about doing every kind of odd job there was around wrestling, and being an invaluable help to Eddie Marlin, to Jerry Jarrett, to Buddy Wayne, to everybody that's been connected with wrestling, Mr. Coffee on down. And Randy did it because he's loved professional wrestling. I mean, he's not only been a fan, but ever since he's been involved, he's loved it from the bottom of his heart. And everything that Randy has tried to do around wrestling has been positive. Everything that Randy has done has been involved hard work. I'm sure that Randy, you know, would in the back of his mind or somewhere would have loved to have at one time been a professional wrestler. But as you know, he just didn't have the size, he didn't have the stature. But he has dedicated himself and all his efforts throughout his entire career to doing everything that he can to help professional wrestling. And he has been a positive addition to the USWA. He has been the hardest worker that I have ever seen, and you know this, and Lance knows it, and Eddie Marlin knows it. Everybody connected knows that there's nobody better for the United States Wrestling Association than this man right over here. And to see somebody, like he said, like Scott Bowden, who was born with a silver spoon in his mouth and hadn't stirred since, come along and run his mouth and make statements about Randy Hales, and then to go even further and to involve himself in a match and hit Randy with a belt, and then have Tommy Rich come in and do the same thing. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Anytime, he didn't have to ask me to step in. He didn't ask me to come out there to the ring last Monday night. I did that on my own. I involved myself on my own because, you see, Scott Bowden, he hates you. All of these fans hate you, and I especially hate you because I, throughout my entire career, have at one time or other run into jerks like Scott Bowden. I call them, and I've said it many times, they're like leeches, Dave. There are people who realize when they look in the mirror, Scott Bowden, when he looks in the mirror, he has to realize that he is a skinny puke, a no-good rotten punk who couldn't whip his way out of a wet paper bag. So what he does, like a leech, he attaches himself onto somebody like Tommy Rich and onto somebody like Doug Gilbert, somebody that can do his fighting for him. And all he does is sit in the back, and he takes in a little money, and he gets to come out here on television, and he gets to run his big mouth about how big and how tough his guys are. Well, Scott Bowden, this week, you're going to have to put your mouth where your money is. You're going to have to see if you can back up some of those claims you've been making, because this week you're in the ring with not only Randy Hales, but you're in the ring with the King. And that's someplace that you have never been in your life. And I know that Randy Hales wants you real bad. But Randy, all I want you to promise me is that you will just save me one good shot on that skinny weasel from Germantown, and I'm going to show you too. He's going to show you what a hick from Jonesboro does to somebody from Germantown, and I'm going to show you what the King does to a spoiled, rich brat. So be there Monday night, and I don't care how much Tommy Rich tries to protect you. He ain't going to be able to do it all night long, is he?
Not at all. We're looking forward to it Monday night. We'll be right in Scott Bowden's face all night long. Dave, that's
Good luck to you, Randy. Let me echo what the King has said, one of the hardest working men ever in the USWA. Wasn't too thrilled to see him climb into the ring, but he's got good help this time around. Don't miss it Monday night. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Been promoting it all day, and the time is here. We're looking forward for our TV main event, Dave.
And it's one of those matches that we were talking about before the show. You don't often have such stipulations on a television match. But in this case, it's going to be a situation where Mr. Gilbert here is going to lose that mask if he loses to the King. What?
Now, I have been swerved, I have been connived, I've been cheated, I've been stole from. So what I'm saying, Lance Russell, is I have got my mask on the line, right?
Right. That's
And in
exactly right.
return, what do I get?
The crown is on the line from the king.
Jerry Lawler's crown. So what I want right now to make sure I don't get swerved, Lance Russell, is I want Randy Hales out here right now because I don't want Jerry Lawler coming out here without his crown because I'm going to beat him. No. I'm not getting cheated and I'm not getting robbed from. I want Randy Hales right now. Come on, Randy.
We've told you that the crown is up against the man.
I know how Lawler is, Lance Russell. Don't try to cheat me.
You sign your mask at stake against the crown of Jerry Lawler.
Does he have the
It's
crown?
official.
Does he have the
Yes,
crown?
He has the crown back there. If you let us ring the bell and get the match started, we'll do it.
Well, as long as you stay around and make sure that he has the crown, because like I said, I've been cheated around here and I've been robbed, but I've been...
Tommy Rich comes out. You're lowlife, you're stalling, you come out here and Rich comes... Oh, no. Come on, Tommy! Put the belt down. Hey, here comes the king rolling on here. Get on it. Boy, what a... Gilbert nailing Lawler from the side, hammers his head into it. Rich, hey, come on, Tommy.
Ring a bell, Lance Russell!
Ring the bell. I'll ring the bell. You get out of here with that belt. Kevin Christian out helping Randy Hales back out of here. You see him rip that coat up and the shirt off and beat him with that. And look at Rich now, choking Jerry Lawler with Corey's microphone. Boy, you're a great, what a winner. What a great champion you are. Yeah, I say what about that. Come out here and jump on Randy Hales from behind. None of you are...
See a new king today, Jack.
A new king. I'll tell you one thing. We need a new USWA champion. Comes out here and just absolutely strapped Randy Hales back bloody. Doug Gilbert. Oh, okay, Dave.
All right, is it? Rich from behind, a kidney punch. He hit Lawler right in the back. Man, I didn't think we were going to get the match underway here, especially after Rich jumps Lawler down here on the floor, or jumps Randy.
Get him out of here, Kevin, for crying out loud. He's got no business out here in this match. Tommy Rich down the ringside, going into his pocket. Look at that. Threw it up. He's got a chain, Dave. Look.
He sure does. Gilbert's got it wrapped around that right fist. Lawler out of the way. Rolls Doug Gilbert down to the mat. 1, 2. He got him. He got him. Take the mask off.
Even with Rich out here, throwing a chain in, Lawler sidestep, came in, rolled him up, got a 1, 2, 3, and that means we're going to get a look at while that hair is doing on the head of Doug Gilbert.
He's unlacing the mask. There it is. Well, the hair.
Oh, look out, look out.
Man, from behind, Tommy Rich nails Lawler. He's got a chain. He's got a belt.
He's got the belt lashing away at Lawler. Referee Kevin Christian can't get him backed up. As Gilbert holding Lawler down, Rich slashing him, pushes the referee down.
Doug Gilbert holding Lawler while Tommy Rich smacks him with that belt. Here's PG-13, and there goes Doug Gilbert out of the ring. There goes Tommy Rich. They attend to the king. There's more help coming in for the dressing room, and finally, Rich Doug Gilbert are out of here. At least they got the mask off of Doug Gilbert. The hair's starting to come back, but he's still pretty close to bald-headed, too.
Let's take time out. We'll be back. From the USWA champion. He's out here. He gets Randy Hales from behind. He jumps in with a chain, gets Lawler from behind. He wouldn't know how to look anybody in the eye straight on and go at it.
And that's the guy that's wearing our USWA heavyweight title right now. I'm not thrilled about it, and I know the fans are not either. Children under 12 are going to be admitted free to all sections Monday night at the Mid South Coliseum. At least there's some good news.
Yes, sir, that is true. All sections, as Dave said. We're opening up with Jeff Gaylord going against the legend Tony Falk, to be followed by Moondog Rex, Reggie B. Fine, and then with a winner to get USWA title match, it'll be the Spellbinder and Moondog Spot in a single match.
And I'm sorry, then the USWA title match, and there's a grudge here, too. Buddy Landell, if you were watching earlier, you saw how beat up he was at the hands of Tommy Rich, former partner. And now Tommy Rich is going to have to defend that USWA title against Buddy Landell. And a lot of fans, I think, are going to be in the unusual position of pulling for Buddy Landell.
Pulling for Buddy Landell, and after seeing what we just saw about jumping two guys from behind, yeah.
We're trying to do the card here. I think we've had about enough. Tommy Rich.
You bring Landell down now. Hey, Jerry the King Lawler, I bet next time you won't forget who Tommy Wildfire Rich is. I see you got the flames over here. I got the flames on. Wildfire's on fire. Monday night in Memphis, when I get through with Buddy Landell, you're talking about you're going to get something on Scott Bowden. Jerry Lawler, I'll whip you, Randy Hales, and anybody else in Memphis who wants to come that stinking ring with you. And don't think that I won't have this belt. Monday night, you're talking about fired up. I'm ready now. Lawler, bring it on. Randy Hales, bring it on. Monday night, I'm going to kill you.
Well, there's Tommy Wildfire Rich. I think that whole thing right there, maybe jumping Lawler, too. When we were talking to Jerry earlier, he didn't mention Tommy Rich. He was talking about Scott Bowden. Maybe he's steamed about that. Whatever it is, I'm sick of looking at Tommy Wildfire Rich here.
You got it. We got to take a break.